I married Daniel 15 years ago, I thought I had found the man I would grow old with. He was patient, kind, and an incredible father to our 2 children, Megan, 14, and Jacob, 12. He was the stable rock in my otherwise chaotic world. But as time went on, I started to feel something was missing. I craved excitement, passion, and something that made me feel alive again. That yearning led me down a dark path, a path that destroyed everything I held dear. The affair. It started innocently enough. Jason, a coworker, began giving me attention that felt exhilarating. Compliments about my appearance, lingering glances during meetings, and the occasional flirty text. It felt harmless at first, but over time, those interactions escalated. Before I knew it, I was sneaking around with Jason. The thrill of the secrecy, the excitement of stolen moments, it became intoxicating. I convinced myself that it wasn't hurting anyone. My marriage had become routine, stale, and predictable. I deserved this, I thought. But deep down, I knew it was wrong. I knew if Daniel ever found out, it would shatter him. What I didn't anticipate was the sheer scale of devastation my actions would cause, or the extent of Daniel's revenge. The discovery. Daniel wasn't a fool. He had noticed the changes in me, how I was suddenly more protective of my phone, the late nights at work, and the excuses that didn't quite add up. One day, while I was in the shower, he went through my phone and found the texts between Jason and me. Explicit messages, plans for our next meetup, and even photos. I had been careless, and he had all the evidence he needed. But instead of confronting me immediately, Daniel decided to play the long game. He hired a private investigator to follow me and Jason, capturing everything on video. The confrontation. I'll never forget the night Daniel confronted me. He sat me down at the dining table, his face a mask of calm fury. "Do you love him?" he asked, his voice cold and steady. I froze, unable to answer. That was when he pulled out his laptop and pressed play. On the screen were videos of me and Jason, meeting at a hotel, kissing in his car, laughing over drinks at a bar. My stomach dropped, and I felt like I was going to be sick. "It's over," he said, his voice laced with pain. "But you're going to understand what it feels like to lose everything. The revenge." At first, I thought Daniel would just file for divorce and move on. But he had other plans. One afternoon, while I was out, he sat Megan and Jacob down and showed them the video. Yes, the actual footage of me cheating. He explained everything. How their mother had betrayed him, how I had lied to them, and how I had been sneaking around with another man. When I came home, the house was eerily quiet. Megan wouldn't even look at me, and Jacob locked himself in his room. I asked Daniel what was going on, and he simply said, "They know." The fallout. The betrayal hit my children harder than I could have ever imagined. Megan, my sweet, compassionate daughter, became cold and distant. She started calling me by my first name instead of Mom. Jacob, my little boy who used to run to me for hugs, avoided me entirely. What kind of mother does this? Megan screamed at me one evening. "You ruined everything." I tried to explain, to apologize, but they didn't want to hear it. In their eyes, I wasn't just a wife who had made a mistake. I was a mother who had betrayed their family. The abandonment. Daniel filed for divorce and fought for full custody of the kids. Given the evidence he had, the court sided with him. I was granted visitation rights, but Megan and Jacob refused to see me. The first time I showed up for a scheduled visit, they locked themselves in their rooms. The second time, Megan left a note on the door. "We don't want to see you." Eventually, I stopped trying. It was clear they wanted nothing to do with me. The loneliness. Now, I sit in an empty apartment, haunted by the choices I made. The silence is deafening. I scroll through old photos of family vacations, birthdays, and holidays, trying to remember the days when we were happy. I've reached out to Megan and Jacob countless times, writing letters, sending texts, leaving voicemails. But they've blocked me on every platform. Daniel made sure they saw me as the villain, and I can't say he's wrong. The regret. Jason. He disappeared as soon as my marriage fell apart. The affair that had once felt so thrilling now seems meaningless. I traded a lifetime of love, trust, and family for fleeting excitement, and the cost was more than I ever could have imagined. I thought I could handle the guilt, but the pain of losing my children is unbearable. They were my world, and now they want nothing to do with me. Daniel's new life. Daniel has moved on. He's dating someone new, a woman who Megan and Jacob adore. They post pictures together on social media, smiling and happy, as if I never existed. Seeing those photos feels like a knife to the heart. Lessons learned. If I could go back and undo everything, I would in a heartbeat. I wish I could tell Megan and Jacob that I'm still their mom, that I love them more than anything, and that I made a terrible mistake. But some mistakes can't be undone. Betrayal doesn't just hurt the person you cheat on, it ripples outward, destroying everything in its path. And now, I'm left to pick up the pieces of a life I shattered with my own hands.